Super Bowl, really. And how much of a constraint is that to you as a writer to hit certain beats, make $1 billion? And as a follow-up, how far do you think the superhero genre still has to go?
Well, you know, I don't. If I had a key on my computer that said $1 billion, I would press it. I just try to write it as well as I can. I don't really think about those things. Restrictions, as I said before, are sometimes frustrating, sometimes very useful because the page is not so blank. I'm sorry, what was the second one?
How far do you think the genre still has to go? So many films being planned at the moment.
Well, you know, the thing I loved about Marvel Comics is the thing I loved about what Kevin Feige's doing with Marvel Universe, which is he approaches every movie as a completely new idea, as a movie of some particular genre that happens to have superheroes in it. He's not interested in creating a formula, he's interested in creating a universe. So as long as he can stay alive, which is I think probably a few months more, you know, I think it has legs. As long as somebody who really cares is at the head, you know, trying to create new versions of the superhero movie and not just fall into a pattern, then it can sustain for quite a while.
So here.
All of you actors are very famous also for character-driven parts. And I just wonder if you approach a part like an Avengers differently, if it's an action movie. Do you have more fun, or is it the same kind of work?
It may be a little different. In an action film, there may not be as many tangible opportunities to play off of as an actor. You know, some actors where the reality is a little more grounded, given the environment you're in, and the characters you're playing off of. You may have something more to kind of pull from. In a movie like this, you may be sitting on a green screen or talking with a tennis ball. But I think everyone up here has a very healthy imagination. I think everyone up here grew up running around in their backyard with a cape around their neck. So it's you know, it's a different muscle. But I think it's a very similar approach. No, that one too. Well,
we all agree that Evans is fire today. Evans, you're on damn fire.
And Chris, you were the only one sitting around talking to a tennis ball. We know it comforts you, but it's a little weird.
Let's jump in the fourth row. Thank you.
It's a question for Mark and for Joss, really. Just kind of considering where Hulk ends up at the end of the film, which shouldn't be a spoiler for anyone here. Do you kind of take that as suggesting that Hulk's going to disappear for a while, or that he's going to come back in a bigger way in future?
Do you want to tell them?
No, you go.
I can't.
Sorry.
It's too amazing.
Let's jump here in the second row on the very left.
Hi, I just really want to thank you guys for being a constant form of inspiration and escapism for me ever since I was 10 years ago. But also, my question is actually aimed at Jeremy. I was wondering, you weren't too happy with the way that Hawkeye was displayed in the first one, as far as it's been reported anyway, but I was wondering, I know that your part's been expanded in this film, but would there be any comic book storyline, or in fact any storyline at all that you'd like to adapt with that character?
I don't really read comics, so I can't answer that part of it. I let writers that know what they're doing do that. I'll try to do what I got to do. Yeah, this one, I was so happy. I remember talking about, I'm not going to talk about specifically what happens in this movie, but the ideas of what are in this movie. I remember sitting with Downey and Joss and Ruffalo talking about like some really cool ideas, and they were able to implement them in this one. It was actually very, very exciting. And very thankful.
There's a lady in the front row. Thank you.
Thank God my arms are really in. I'd like to ask Paul about his character in the film, because you've been part of the Marvel Universe since Iron Man, which was the first in this little thing. What's it like now being physically on screen, not just a voice?
Hot.
By the way, my friends really fancied you as a vision, which is,
Well, that's really odd. Let me do that one really quickly. It
was lovely. You know, it was lovely to finally be on set with a bunch of people that I've been supposed to be working with for 10 years but hadn't really met. So that was nice. It's a double-edged sword. Initially, my job was turning up at the end of the movie with the superhero power that if anything was still unclear, I could clarify it by just talking. And then it would take 2 hours and they'd give me a big bag of cash. And then I would go home, and I couldn't imagine that the contract could ever be better, you know, than that. But it was a dream. Honestly, everybody was so welcoming. There were a bunch of really lovely, happy, well-paid actors. That's a nice environment to work in. You know?
You got a big bag of cash?
Yeah, a big bag of cash. Well, you know, when I was doing the voice, it seemed like a big bag of cash to me.
Box office bonuses, big bag of cash. You've done well with this. We have time for one last question from the gentleman right at the very, very back. On the very, very left. On the camera buddy. He's waving his hands frantically. Now he's looking down. Yeah, right. Yes. There we go. Ask him.
Excuse the delay. It's Tom Westerholt, German Public Radio. Question to Joss. Maybe you could clean up with some whatever rumor or hoax past couple of days. The scene at the credits, men cleaning the windows, Spider-Man in the back.
Yeah, that's not real. I don't know where that started. It is not, in fact, part of the movie, and I don't know who came up with it. We wanted to be clear that there was no tag scene at the very, very end of the film, because after sitting through 40 minutes of credits and not seeing anything, we thought people would become irate. So, no, I don't know where that started.
And the short one to Robert Downey Jr. Short one, okay. Last one, or not?
Yeah.
Okay, why again did your trailer park at the shooting have the same size as everybody else's trailers together again? I read about that.
It's a question about the film, so we want to have a question about the film, ideally. Yeah. If not, we're going to bring it on to an end. That's it.
What about the shooting?
Thank you so much, Dave.